pulled from the Illinois River after he'd been missing for almost a month, and it took weeks for authorities to confirm the body was his.
The family hired a lawyer and private investigator. They also got a private autopsy done, or independent autopsy done, after the first one failed to find a cause and/or manner of death. Carmen says the second autopsy left with them with more questions than answers.
A new report by the Chicago Sun-Times provides descriptions of the condition of the 25-year-old.
The second autopsy revealed the body was severely decomposed, almost down to a skeleton. That there were signs of trauma to his brain. He was missing his eyes and also his genitalia.
Jelani was missing his brain, liver, or spleen.
Day's body was found without eyeballs. The report by the Chicago Sun-Times received lots of social media reaction.
Today they held a celebration of life for their loved one, Jelani Day, but there's still questions as to whether the body in the casket was actually his.
Somebody, whoever did something to my child, they mutilated my son, and I need to know what happened to him.
Of course, with mystery comes speculation. You gotta have the right information.
Jelani's mother clarifying some of what was revealed in that report by the Chicago Sun-Times.
Jelani's mother, Cameron Bolden Day, posted no organs were missing. There are contradicting facts from the first preliminary autopsy compared to the second independent autopsy. This is not a case of organ harvesting that I'm aware of.
The family has vowed to get justice for Jelani.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Today I want to talk about Jelani Day's autopsies, plural. I've already done a video on this case that goes through the backstory. Today I want to focus more on the autopsy and the updates. There's a lot of confusion and contradicting information about Jelani Day's autopsies. First it was like the organs are missing, then it was like they're not, and then it's like organ trafficking, and then it's like no, it's not. So we're going to go through all of that, and now the toxicology was just released, so that also is giving us information but more questions as well. So as usual here on my channel, I'm going to give you guys the facts, we'll discuss the theories, and then you can decide for yourself. Let's begin with the toxicology, because I know if you haven't heard, you want to hear it. What they found is caffeine, nicotine, and THC. Now, as we know, there's record of all of that except for the nicotine, because the last day we saw Jelani, he was at the Starbucks. His debit card showed that he spent money at the Starbucks. Then we know that he went to the dispensary. So this tells us that he did actually ingest that weed, meaning, I don't know, on the spot or soon after, maybe they drove somewhere, but that gives us a little bit more information that he had time after that, before something happened to him, to smoke. Was he alone? Was he with someone? Was someone waiting in the car? I don't know. The other thing is the nicotine. So that could be either from like vaping or smoking cigarettes. So he had some nicotine that day. That could also explain maybe the change of clothes, as similar with the smoking. You know, maybe he didn't want to smell while he had his cigarette, his weed, whatever. Theory. Let's continue with the facts. This is from an article by the Pentagraph. They said that they requested this through a FOIA request, which is the Freedom of Information Act. Caffeine and evidence of nicotine and cannabis use was found during toxicology testing. LaSalle County Coroner Richard Plock said the office, I'm just going to call him Coroner Rich, said the office received results Wednesday, but he declined to comment on the report's content, quote, due to the ongoing investigation. The lab received tissue samples taken from the liver, kidney, and brain on September 8th. The lab noted positive findings for caffeine, cotinine, and delta-9 carboxy-THC, and these are byproducts of nicotine and THC. It says, according to the report, the amounts of caffeine and cotinine found in his system are not typically toxicologically significant. I find this interesting because it's not saying that the cannabis or the THC was not typically toxicologically significant. So is this setting the stage for like something to do with the marijuana and a mental break or something? I don't know, I'm theorizing, but I just think it's interesting. It mentions the caffeine and the cotinine. I'm probably saying that wrong. but not the THC. And then it says a cause of death for Day has not been released by law enforcement. That is the latest with the toxicology and the autopsy. But to understand the whole situation, we need to go back to when the Chicago Sun-Times posted their article. This is the article that set everything off. Now, they interviewed Jelani's mom, Carmen Day, and her attorney. The attorney, her name is Besner. In the beginning of the article, it explains the contentious relationship between Jelani's mom and the police and the coroner's office. Because as we know, I mentioned that before, there was the whole, the Gabby Petito and the attention and how long it took to identify the body. And so there was already a bit of tension between the family and the coroner and the police. And then there's this conversation that happens that Jelani's mom feels the coroner was so rude to her, so does the attorney, and they talked to the reporter about this in the article. Quote, "So when the coroner finally rang with news on September 22nd about a possible ID due to the acquisition of, quote, new, end quote, dental records, Day quite naturally had questions. Day's questions and her attempt to get a better understanding apparently perturbed the coroner," she says, for his next words fell harshly. "Do you want us to identify your son or not?" Day recalls him barking. Day sat aghast, without words, tears swelling. Her attorney, whom Day had merged on the call, suddenly lit into the coroner. Besner recalled telling him he had no effing right to speak to Day that way. Then the article continues to talk about the condition of Jelani's body in the second independent autopsy. So there was the first one done by the coroner's office where they used dental records and they tried to, I think they sawed off his tibia to see a bone match with the DNA from his bones. And then they did dental records. So I don't know if they remove part of the jaw for dental records. They were trying to have issue with the DNA and the chemical. Remember that whole thing? Okay. So that was the first autopsy. Then the family had a second independent autopsy, and this article is talking about that second autopsy. Quote, "The corpse had no eyeballs, only sockets. The river's water had run her course, soaking the body through and through. The body was missing its front, top, and bottom teeth," Day and Besner said, citing a second autopsy performed by a private forensic pathologist at the request of the family. His jawbone had been, quote, "sawed out," end quote. The family's private forensic pathologist could find no brain, according to Day and her attorney, no organs, neither liver nor spleen. Besner and the LaSalle County coroner had explained that according to their pathology report, the organs were, quote, "completely liquefied." The body had suffered innumerable fish and turtle bites and was maggot infested, said Besner, citing information both she and Day said they received from the LaSalle County's coroner's office, which has not yet released its autopsy report to the family, according to Day and Besner. The genitalia were unidentifiable, according to the private forensic pathologist report, but determined to be flayed, in quotes, according to the county coroner's forensic pathologist. So the coroner in the first autopsy, they say that his genitalia was flayed. Besner says she continues to investigate to seek plausible, perhaps scientific explanations for the severely decomposed state of Jelani's body while keeping an open mind, although no question rings more loudly than this one: what on earth happened to Jelani? The lawyer said, quote, "I'm really trying to ask questions and not go down the path of a lot of conspiracy because I think it's easy to go that way." Once this article came out and they were saying the eyeballs and the brains and the jaw was sawed off and the genitalia was flayed and all this, people went nuts because there's already been this theory, whatever you want to call it. There have been instances of men, healthy men, usually black men, who their organs are missing. They're found and their organs are missing. And so this is reminding people of that, which is causing them to make this connection and say, oh my God, he was healthy. He was in medical school. Like, did somebody want to take his organs? And is this organ harvesting? I was getting comments too on my last Jelani video. They were like, his organs are missing. His organs are missing. And I was looking into it, blah, 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 whatever. And then Jelani Day's mom came out And she said, hold up, let me clarify. Some things need and have to be clarified. No organs were missing. I do not want to stray off from the facts. They were contradicting facts from the first preliminary autopsy compared to the second independent autopsy. But this is not a case of organ harvesting. However, my son did not put himself in a river. My son was murdered, and my goal and purpose are to find out what happened and hold those responsible and accountable. So when Jelani's mom came out and was like, this is not organ harvesting, people then were kind of attacking the author of that article, like, what are you doing? You're spreading fake news, blah, 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 all that. And then Jelani's mom came out again and she wanted to clarify. I want to be very clear about this journalist and his article. Nowhere in this article did it say the eyes or the organs were removed. My previous post was written because I was and continue to constantly receive messages and questions about organ harvesting, which again I said was not the case. This article is accurate. However, as people do, they take what they want out of a conversation. In this case, an article and say or quote things incorrectly. John Fountain is telling Jelani's story, and so far he's done that accurately, with grace and honesty, and I approve. The information that he has written, he did in fact get from me based on my understanding of the two differing preliminary autopsy reports done by two differing pathologists. Please know that this author's sole purpose is to shed light on Jelani's story and help me #find justice for Jelani Day. I don't know if any of you even remotely consider how draining and emotional this is for my entire family. We are not okay. I'm not okay. So please continue to pray with and for us. Pray for the community and the people that are helping us seek answers. So that means let's pray for each other as we continue to find out what happened to my baby. And then she's a heart emoji, Carmen Bolden Day. I just can't imagine what she's going through, having to like deal with this and deal with that when she's just trying to figure out what the hell happened, you know? But once this came out, people were kind of like, okay, all right. Some were convinced, some still were like, weird. And then they were like, okay, well, what does the coroner have to say about this? So the coroner did speak out, and this is what the coroner said, quote, that answers are still going to take some time. The coroner said the cause and manner of death are still awaiting toxicology and histology reports. Now, we did get toxicology, so we'll see what the histology says when it comes out. And then he also added, even after that, he needs the police agencies to help with the big piece on how he came to be in the water. So he's like, police needs to do some stuff too. It's not all on me. And then he also clarified recent reports that the organs were missing. He said some organs were severely decomposed due to the body being in the water, but none were missing. So although the organ thing seems to have been put to the side, the question still remains, why are there contradicting facts in each autopsy? And so in order to figure that out, Jelani's mom has ordered a third autopsy, which we're awaiting the results of that. In the meantime, she released another statement, this time through her children, and that shed some more light on what they really think, a bit on the organ harvesting thing, because they didn't completely rule it out. So the post says, PSA from my children. First, we want to express our thanks for the continued support from everyone. We know a lot of you have been reaching out, and we haven't read or responded yet. We will, just give us some time. Secondly, we know majority of you have read the accurate Sun-Times article, seen other posts about our brother's body, and also been reading our mother's posts. Our mother is trying to focus on one thing, and that is who murdered our brother. She has been doing an amazing job. As far as the body, there are things that are missing that we do not have an accurate explanation as to why they are missing. We also have questions as to why the first autopsy results differ from the second autopsy results. Per the second autopsy, the pathologist didn't have all the body parts / organs for the body they identified as our brother Jelani Day. Also, according to the second autopsy, the pathologist was confused as to why the first pathologist did what he did to our brother's body to perform the autopsy itself. Furthermore, the second pathologist was confused as to why he didn't have the whole body, and we are under the impression that the state lab still has body parts in their possession. Also, there are major organs that are damaged, or in their words, quote, mush and liquefied, end quote. We are not taking organ harvesting off the table, but still, our mother's wishes are not to make organ harvesting the main focus. We are unsure if the whole body was there, so this is why we didn't do a burial. This is why we are in the process of getting a third autopsy done due to numerous amounts of conflicting information from the first and second autopsy. They've been keeping us in the dark, and we, the family, have been working to get answers. Due to the distrust, this is why we suspect foul play of the LaSalle County Coroner, LaSalle Sheriff's Office, LaSalle PD, Peru PD, and Bloomington PD. For these reasons, this is why we want/need the FBI involved as well. Thank you for your understanding. Please respect our family's privacy and wishes. Don't contact our mom with your questions. Give her time to breathe, think, and sleep. Thank you again. God bless. Hashtag Justice for Jelani Day. Once the police identified Jelani's body, performed the autopsy, they released Jelani's body to the family. Turns out that other people saw Jelani's body, but his mother did not. This is what that Chicago Sun-Times article said. The mother wanted to lay her eyes on her baby boy, but Besner advised her against it. Remember, Besner's her lawyer. Quote, "He was in such bad shape," Besner explained. "It's just a heartbreaking story for sure."
I couldn't even see my baby. I couldn't even look at him. I was scared to look at what that was. But then I had to hear 2 days later what the autopsy report said. And I should have looked at them, because I should have seen what they was looking at.
So only Jelani's grandmother and one of his brothers saw Jelani's remains. And the mother still is like, is it even him? Those are the facts. Now I want to discuss the theories. There are 2 major theories, and they go into sub-theories, right? And that's like, was this foul play, or was it self-harm, accident, something that's not foul play? With foul play, you've got 2 major things. You've got organ harvesting, and then you're like, no, it's not organ harvesting, but definitely foul play. So with the organ harvesting, we already know the reasons behind it is, like, remember the Kendrick Johnson case had the organ issue with that. There was other cases. I had a video, I did a montage of like people with their organs missing. There was this other guy. So this is definitely a theory that's been around for a long time. And so this is just another example of that for people who believe in this. And then if it's foul play but not organ harvesting, what could it be, right? Well, one of the theories that I've been hearing a lot is smiley face killer. Smiley face killer is a theory that's been put forth by retired police detective, and he's got people who are with him, and they are saying that there are cases of healthy young men that are found floating in bodies of water in the Midwest that police say are accidents or self-harm or things like that, but really it's actually a serial killer who's doing this, and they call him the smiley or her the smiley face killer because there's the graffiti of a smiley face near where these bodies are found. Other police officers and serial killer experts have dismissed it. Others have said, well, actually there's some credence to it, but this is definitely a theory that people have been bringing up because it seems like Jelani's case fits in where he's healthy, he's young, he's a male, he was found floating in a body of water. It was in Illinois, the Midwest. So that is another thing that people are talking about. Then there was, remember, a guy who was in the area, and people were saying, is it Jelani or someone who knows Jelani? There was surveillance footage of him knocking on a door, waiting, and then walking away. Turns out he's not connected to the case. Police say that he was doing that, like knocking on the door as part of his employment. I don't know if he was doing some sort of canvassing or something. And so that's why he was there. Story checked out, and he's been removed from the situation. So who could it be? Was someone in the car with Jelani when he got that weed, and then they smoked together? Something happened. Did someone with connections to Peru do something to him and then take him to Peru? We do know his phone is still missing, although many of his other items were found scattered. So if it was him, let's say like the other theory where he maybe had a mental break or self-harm or accident, and he was scattering his items around and just like, I don't know, went into the water and died or something, drowned. Why would his phone be hard to find, right? The phone is identifying. Why are the license plate removed from the car? Those are the things that really feel like foul play. Not to mention he could swim. So would he drown? Which brings us to the whole self-harm. He was under a lot of pressure. That kept coming up because he was so successful and he had a lot going for him and a lot of achievements he was supposed to accomplish. And so did he have too much pressure and just couldn't take it anymore? According to his mom, no. He wasn't depressed. He didn't have any kind of pressure that would make him want to escape from life. So I do feel as if there was someone involved. Regarding the autopsy and the decomposition and why the coroner said it was so hard to determine the cause of death and why it took so long was that it was severely decomposed. And so I did a little digging. Now, I'm not a scientist, but I found this scientific-y, I think, paper that talks about the body's decomposition in water. And my understanding, and again, look at me, I'm in a tinfoil hat, but my understanding is it actually, being submerged in water slows down the body's decomposition. However, when it's been in water and you take it out and it gets exposed to oxygen, it decomposes really rapidly. So I also, don't forget, there's wildlife. Also, regarding the water temperature, there was a lot of confusion. They were saying it was really hot. Jelani's mom's attorney said it was extremely hot, and so that is why it was decomposing faster, and then the wildlife and all that. Other people are like, well, Illinois, the water is never hot in Illinois. The water's always cold. I don't know. The temperature was hot that day. I don't have the temperature of the water that day. However, the body was there for a while, even after they found the car, and the body wasn't that far away. They didn't find the body right away. So there was a lot of time for the body to just sit in that water and decompose. Furthermore, once they got the body, I'm assuming they put it in the morgue. I don't know, but that's a big factor, the whole like decomposition. Although the family wants the FBI involved, the FBI is, but not completely. They have only involved the behavioral unit to see what it looks like his mindset would have been based on his behavior, meaning like, was this self-harm, was this foul play? And in the beginning it kind of seemed like they were leaning towards self-harm. They were trying to tell Jelani's mom that, hey, you know, maybe he drove himself there and walked into the water and took off his clothes and, you know, somehow drowned, and she refused to accept that. Now they want the FBI to completely take over the case because they feel like there's something that they can't handle it, or there's some conflict or something. I don't know, but the family definitely wants the FBI involved now completely, not just the behavioral unit. So if it wasn't self-harm and the pressure and it wasn't foul play, could it have been an accident? I don't know. Some people are like, well, you know, the edibles, right? Maybe, or did he like have a break from the weed and the pressure? Was it like a freak accident? So again, I'm still leaning towards foul play like I was in the previous video. So I'm curious to see that third autopsy. I'll let you know. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me, which one of you think it's organ harvesting? Which one of you think it's not, but it is foul play? What about the whole accident thing? Tell me what you guys think. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.